Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Monday night call for our BU team. My name is Chris Rosencrans, and I am here with my sweet friend, Rhonda Bouwman. She is a Ruby, and she is going to share her story with us tonight. And the reason I asked Rhonda to do this is because she's a rock star. And, as are many of you that are on this call. But Rhonda works her biz, and I've said this to her many, many times. You guys, she's no nonsense. She doesn't play around. She gets her work done. And it's because she has goals, and that's what it takes, And so I admire her, and I'm her sponsor. And I've say this to her all the time. Like, you're amazing, because she really doesn't mess around, because she really does have goals. She knows what they are, and she sticks to her guns, and she sets goals every month, and she's off and running. So we've talked about it many times, and I've just said, we really need to share what you do with everybody, and just share her story and how she's gotten to this place, and then why she does things the way she does. Okay. Because I think it's gonna be really valuable. I think it's really good for us to see all the different ways that people run their business. Everybody does their IPA differently, and it's good to see that, so yeah, well, and I want to quick tell you too, before we start diving into Rhonda's story, but Rhonda and I taught her boys. So her kids are literally the same exact grades, and maybe not ages, but the same grades as my kids. So, and even to the point where we found this out, I don't know, probably after you started Plexus, I'm thinking is right, Rhonda, like that Noah and Peyton were both 2 months premature. They were they were not in the hospital at the same time, but both of them were 2 months early, which is crazy, but they're the same class at school. Noah. And oh my word, I'm starting to forget names here.
Henry, Deacon.
I'm sorry. Henry and Addie are the same age. And then Deacon and Keaton are the same class and age. And Keaton and Deacon were buddies. I mean, the other two are kind of a girl boy thing, so they didn't hang out as much at that point in their life, but
right.
Deacon and Keaton were really good buddies. So we kind of got to know each other on the mom front, and then at some point in time in my sharing journey, Rhonda messaged me about Plexus, and she invited me over for coffee. So I got to see that beautiful house. If you've seen pictures of her home, I got to go over there, and you had just built it fairly around that time, right? It was pretty new. So I got to go drive through the woods and go up to Rhonda's house and sit and have coffee. And she's a really great host. We had a really great time. I think that was the first time we actually sat down and had like a one-on-one conversation. So Rhonda, I would love for you to share kind of what got you to that point. Where were you in your health, and what got you going and curious about Plexus?
Sure. Thanks for that introduction, Chris. You're so sweet. In a nutshell, I was sick of being sick and tired. I was 38 years old, taking 3-hour naps a day, had severe insomnia, heart palpitations that has taken me to the emergency room because I thought I was having a heart attack. I looked healthy on the outside. I mean, I wasn't, wasn't overweight. I wasn't, I was still active. I did all the things, but I felt horrible and I had no energy. And Chris, you had started posting about Plexus. I had no idea what it was, but you had mentioned energy, and it was for edge. And I'm like, give me the edge. Like, this is going to be the fix to all my problems. And she came over and we spent like 2 hours talking about how, no, it's really a gut health issue, and this is what you need to start on. I was a little hesitant because of the cost, but my husband was like, I don't care. You're going to do it. So you need to try it. And of course, fell in love with the products. My health changed dramatically. I don't get heart palpitations anymore. I still love to nap. My friends know, don't call me between 2 and 3, but yeah, not not the huge 3-hour naps from insomnia and all that. So that's a little bit of my health journey. I knew that I wanted to stay on the products. Around that time, my husband was encouraging me to go out and get a job. I had just stayed home with my kids for 11 years, and it took me a long time to get used to being an at-home mom. I didn't always feel like it was the right fit for me. But I had finally adjusted and I loved it. And I was like, what? You want me to go back to work? Like, no, I can't do that. And I said, financially, it made no sense. Like, he wanted me to take the kids to and from school. He wanted me to have the summers off. He wanted a clean house and dinner on the table. And he's a great guy. Like, he's not demanding at all, but he works 60 to 70 hours a week, and he cannot pick up the slack at home when it comes to that kind of stuff. So we did the math and crunched the numbers, and I was like, this does not make sense. It makes 0 sense for me to go to work. Meanwhile, I'm watching Chris killing it in her business. And I'm like, well, I love the products already. Like, why don't I just kind of start working the business? And we'll go from there, excuse me. And he was fine with that. He kind of got off my back after I showed him that it just makes no financial sense for me to go back to work with his demanding job. And so I would say I definitely was more of a dabbler. Once I decided I wanted to work the business, it took me 3 weeks to actually get it post even up because I was scared to death. But I did it, probably not as regularly as what Chris would like, but I definitely dabbled in there and got a few people on board, kind of managed my way to silver. And then got to gold. In the meantime, Chris had been encouraging me to, you need to be on book club and you need to be on team calls. And I was like, no, I don't need those things. I'm just plugging away, But I had goals and I wanted to reach Ruby or senior Ruby was my sweet spot at the time. So I was like, there, I'm making real money. It's really good part-time money. And so I was like, if I can get there, then that will be the perfect spot. And so at gold, I realized, I need to do more. I need to dive in a little bit more. And so started doing book clubs and team calls and self-growth and all that stuff, and got to Ruby. And went to Ruby's retreat and did all that great stuff. It was amazing. But during that time, my husband's job got even more stressful, and we got to the point where we felt like it was affecting his health, and that he can't do this job till he's 65. I mean, it's not, I don't even know if he would make it till then. And so we kind of looked to Plexus as an avenue to get him to retire. And the day before I left for Ruby retreat, sorry, I'm just reading the comments and I got distracted. So the day I left for Ruby retreat, we met with our financial advisor, and I said to him, I want my husband retired by 55. And, retirement to us looks like A, B, C, and D. Like, I don't want to be penny pincher. I don't want to, I want to have a really nice life in retirement. And so we were able to pinpoint like what we need to do to get there. And this is where Plexus comes in, because that is our avenue to get him out of the job that he is in. It's a family business and into retirement. And, maybe that means he'll still work, but he can do something that he loves to do. I can tease him. I'm like, you can be like a caddy at a golf course, like, who cares? Just do something that you love. So this is the avenue we're using to do that. And then leaving the next day for Ruby retreat just kind of solidified all of that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the kind of my line in the sand, is when we decided that he needed to be done. And so it gives me 10 years. And I feel like that's very doable. Right now, I would say my sweet spot is emerald. That's kind of where we need to be at financially. Anything, over that is obviously incredible. Emerald's incredible. But that's where I'm at with that. A little bit of my background.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I love it. Well, and that's where I remember, yeah, Rhonda, you dabbled, and then you just started to see that this was bigger than that, and
Yeah.
Ruby Retreat, I remember you loved it. Like all you guys, Ruby Retreat is hands down one of my favorite. Well, it's just our team, but it's one of my favorite events that we do and things that we go to because it's so intimate, because it's not everybody. We actually, for the first time this year, did it just a BU Ruby Retreat. Otherwise, we usually did it with a bigger team, even bigger, Pink Power, and bigger with like Lori Welch's team. And so there's a lot of sideline sisters, which is always great. And brothers, because there are guys and husbands there who are diamonds and work in emeralds and work in the business and rubies. But I just remember at Ruby Retreat too, you were like soaking it in and and you just said how much you love that. It was the perfect timing ever, because
it was.
it really was. I mean, just hearing that, like that to me that is part of God's plan. Like she really drew her line. They knew what they wanted to do. She saw this as the avenue, because it really is, like it's pretty amazing how and it all worked out just that way, because you weren't really ready before, and she had to have her.
I almost didn't go to Ruby Retreat because I was so scared and nervous because I felt like I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful I went. Yeah.
No, I remember that conversation. I remember, because not everybody wants to, not everybody's a blue and jumping into every relationship and all the things, it is scary to meet up with people that you've only seen on a computer screen, and it's, if you're more of an introvert, and that's, those social situations are going to make you different, are going to make you scared, or nervous or whatever, then, it is scary to go on those events and those retreats. So it was a huge, huge step of faith to go on that. I mean, we did talk through that a lot, and I really, and I was so glad that she went. Did you travel with Sal and Sue? Didn't you fly with them?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. You guys flew together. Yeah. So Sarah, that's right. You guys, there's a whole group that went from Michigan and flew down. So you guys, that was already a huge step of faith. I mean, I hope you're hearing in this journey how she started scared, and like every step of the way so far, she's doing things that were scary to her. Like you didn't post much on Facebook. I remember you talking about that. You were like, well, what do I post? Like never post anything. So, like it's everybody's story of that. And we've all been there. I didn't post that much either, but it didn't bother me. And for some people, it's a hard thing to do, but you did it and it got easier. And then you did more and you did more. And with every step of stepping out of the fear and into that faith piece, it just grew your confidence and built that belief even more. So here we are. And so here we are. And Rhonda has just found a system that really works for her. And it's amazing, you guys. So I would love for you to share, just what do you do? How do you set up your month? Like, I know you have goals. You come in every month with a monthly goal. I mean, the goal is obviously emerald, sapphire, diamond, and she's working towards that. So, yeah, but how do you set up your goals? And then you guys got to hear how she sets up, like, tell us like the tools that you use, to track your, cause I actually just had that conversation today with, my friend Vicky about, what do you use, Chris? And so I would love for you to share, Rhonda, what you use to keep track of all of your IP and all of that.
So if you're in the IPA chat, you'll probably know that I do my IPA differently. I decided that I hate the end of the month hustle. I know it's really good for some people, but I hate the way I sound at the end of the month when I am short of my goals. I feel like I sound desperate. And I don't know, it just leaves me feeling like, oh, why did I say that? Or I don't know, too salesy or whatever. So was like, I would just rather have a system and work really hard all month long. And by the time I get to the last week, know that I put all the work in and that I did everything I could. And so I have started, and I think I started in April, maybe like right after Ruby Retreat, front loading my month. So the first week of my month is my busiest week. And that's when I contact every single new Facebook friend that I've friended the month before. So it's usually around 100 to 150 new friends. And I spend several hours a day reaching out and messaging them. And I know, like, I get really sick of it, to be honest. But I know it's only that first week. And so you just get through it. And I can do it from my bed. So that makes me happy.
I'm so glad you said that, because I'm like, guys, this girl does her IPA in her bed. Talk about all the time. And that's the beauty of this. It's awesome.
It is.
Yep.
It is. So my first week is messaging, introducing myself, telling them what I have to offer. My second week, I reached back to everyone who messaged me back. And there's a lot. I mean, my market is all cold market right now where I'm at. I mean, I do have friends that are still signing up, but my new reach outs are all cold reach outs. And so you get ignored a lot. I mean, that's the nature of the business. You got to roll with it. Yeah. So the second week is following up with all those people. And then the third and fourth week is kind of closing the deals, sending the videos, sending out samples, that sort of thing. And when I reach the end of the month, I know that I've done everything that I could. Everybody's been messaged and everything is done. I would say my daily IPA. So when I do all those things each week, my daily IPA is still, I used to friend maybe 5 to 10 people per day. And now I friend about 20 per day is my goal. I've actually had Facebook cut me off and say no more friend requests. Which I didn't know that was a thing. But and I have certain rules when I do a friend request too. I don't just do anybody. We have to have 10 mutual friends in common so that we have some sort of relationship or something to converse on. And then I also go to their page and I look, is Sarah Howard up friends with them? Because I know she's rocking her biz. So I'm not going to go in and, message her because I know Sarah's doing it. And I message 100% of the people that I friend. Nobody gets away with no message from me. So I look, if you're working the business, I don't even bother. There's a lot of people in the world we don't need to be fighting over or having hurt feelings. So, and then I look at their posts. Is it someone that I would be friends with? I mean, are they annoyingly political? Do they have swear words on their pages? Like stuff like that. Like I don't go in and just friend anyone because these are people who are potentially going to join my team. And I do need to be a little bit picky about who I want to work with. So that's what I do as far as friend requests. So that gets done every day. And then I also will obviously do posting. So I try to post 3 times a day. Every morning is a recipe. That's how I'm branding myself. The second one is usually a lifestyle, friends and family, like that sort of thing. And then the evening one is usually a Plexus post. So that's my IPA.
Love it.
And did I leave anything out?
No.
I use dough. I forgot to mention that. Dough was a life changer for me. I know some of you don't like it, but it has just really helped me streamline my business. And I do not quit my work until dough tells me there's no more people. So some days I might have 50 to 75 people that I'm messaging because dough is telling me, like, whenever I hit that more button, more people keep popping up. And then by the end of the month, that's when I'm not working as hard anymore. Like that's when it's a little more reasonable. And maybe it's, I don't know, 10 people a month, or it's a lot of ambassador check-ins at the end of the month after their orders have run, that sort of thing.
Yep. Yep. So good. Yeah. Oh, you guys, isn't it awesome? And that's how she's been running this for months and months and months. And, and you've been hitting goals. I mean, and if you don't hit your goal, was it last month that you said that I think you told me last month that I haven't hit my goals yet. So I'm working on a Saturday,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, I mean, like she has her goals and she is hitting them pretty much every time. I mean, and they're not small goals, yeah.
I would also say I'm noticing that people are more responsive on a Saturday morning or afternoon. I don't know why that is. But since I've picked up Saturdays, I've noticed that they're quicker to respond. So just a little tip.
Love it.
If someone's ghosting you or you can't get them to respond to you, try and message them on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Lee Ellen just asked a question. I actually reach out about both. I reach out about the business and the products at the same time.
Awesome. Maybe you should put one of your your message in underneath the call after I load it. That would be really good if you put that under there. We'll just, it's good to see how people message, it may or may not sound like you, so you can take it or leave it or tweak it to sound like you. And Rhonda's done that just like everybody else has done that. So, I mean, Rhonda, and you guys, the reason why Rhonda does this, she has 100% belief in the products. You already heard her health was changed. Like she was exhausted mama, like had stuff going on. The products changed her life. And now the business is allowing her to do things. I mean, you take vacations on your Plexus card. Like you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like it's awesome. Like
when we take family vacations, I let my boys know that Plexus paid for this.
Yeah.
I'm like, you better respect. I'm like, Plexus paid for this.
I love it. It's awesome. So like huge belief in the products and the business. She has seen how they're both changing. You've seen that, how they are both changing they changed your health, they're changing other people's health, and it's allowing you to do things that and change your family's life, and your family's future. And so that's
for sure.
That's a big why, you guys. That's a really, really big why. So it's huge. You need to make sure that you're dreaming big and then working towards those dreams.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was really key to me. I mean, I was dreaming big, but my work really wasn't showing it. And so, going to Ruby Retreat too, and I think it was Christina Williams who like kind of dug in, and it was like, if you have emerald, sapphire, diamond goals, like you have to work for it. You can't just do the 3, 2, 1, or I mean, it's going to take forever.
Yep, exactly.
And everybody has their own path and their own journey. And I totally realize that what I do and how I do my business might not work for someone else. They might not have 2 hours a day to send messages out. And so that's a great option, like, the shorter sessions. So I'm not like dissing that at all, but I just really realized quickly that I need to do more
Yep.
than what I was doing.
I love it. So how much time do you spend, Rhonda? That'd be good question, Celeste. I love it.
I would say that I work about 10 hours a week, and that is strictly IPA stuff. So that's not team calls, and that's not, going into my like level 2 chats and checking in on those people. That is strictly my own personal business.
Yeah.
And I calculated it today, and it pays way more than like a part-time job that my husband wanted me to get.
Yes, exactly. Yes, Janelle, I totally love it. And you don't have to we've talked through this. Like you don't have to get dressed in the morning. You can have the
Mhm.
mom bun. You can wear your leggings. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's
Right. Right.
seriously, yeah, it's your time, but it's concentrated time. Like you sit down
Oh,
and
absolutely.
yep. And you guys, she's done like it again. If you're in Sal's IPA chat, like by 10 o'clock or earlier, I
Mhm.
mean, maybe it's 10 o'clock. It's probably earlier than that, but I'd say like probably by 9 or 10 after you get home, you sit down and you work or
Yeah, I'm usually, honestly, I start every day at 8 a.m. when my kids leave for school. And I always work until at least 9. So even if Doze tells me I don't have any more people to add, then I'm going on Facebook and I'm friending people, or I try to be super intentional about using that time
Mhm.
um, to do IPA and to further my business. Now, in the beginning of the month, I'm probably working till 10, and I'm probably working in the afternoon doing more messages just because I have that goal of getting everything done that first week. And that's just my own personal goal.
Yep.
I mean, that I've set for myself. I'm a very routine person, in case you can't tell. And I like a schedule. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, if I said I want to get it done, then I'm going to get it done.
I love it. Love it. So good. Man, I don't know. I don't think I haven't. You covered everything, girl. Um,
Good.
I I don't know if anybody else has any other questions. Oh, okay. Do friend request and then send them an FB message the next month only if they accept your friend request. You see that?
Yes. So I friend request, let's say in September, I reach out to them in October, and that gives them a way to check out my wall, because my Facebook wall is very intentional. It is very rigid. Every third post is a Plexus post. If things get out of order, I delete them. Like, when you go to my wall, you know what I'm all about. And so when I message these people, they already kind of have an idea because they accepted my friend request. If you would, so they shouldn't be all that surprised if they get a message from me. Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I've given them a couple. I mean, some of them had a month to check out my wall and to see what I'm all about. Some have had maybe a couple weeks. Some of them actually only had a couple days, just depending on where we are in the whole accepting of the friendship thing.
Yeah. Love it.
So it gives them time.
Yep. Yep, exactly. And and you guys have to think about this too, because a lot of people get stuck in the like relationship building part. And that's just a really good way of putting it is, if your friends, and Cody Helmer said this years ago in a call, like if they are your friend and you're posting about Plexus every day, they know what you do. They know what I mean, like you have a right to, you can message them, like they've accepted
Yeah.
your friend, so you can message them. So if you're scared to message people or that makes you nervous because you don't want to say anything, well, if they're your friend and they accepted your friend request and they did go to your wall, then, and if they didn't, well, after you ask, they can go to your wall and go see
Mhm.
what you do. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the way it is. So
Yeah.
it's good. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, we are at 9:01. No, I'm sorry, 10:01. I'm in Central Time. Sorry, I forget about that. But I love it. I'm so glad that you shared what you're doing here. I don't think people realize. And now all of our IPA friends are like, okay, now I know what she does and how she has it set up. It really is an awesome system. And you guys have to know she works to the end of the month. And if she hasn't hit her goals, she is still messaging. It's just not that like out of desperation, out of the end at the end of
Right.
I got to quick find as many people as I can. It's front loading her month. And so
Yeah.
yeah, she's more like almost like puts it out there right away and then builds the relationships afterwards, really. And
Oh yeah. For
yeah,
sure. For
that's
sure.
really, that's pretty amazing. So, yep. And she is a top recruiter for sure. And big things coming. It's awesome. So, thanks you guys for jumping
All
on
right.
and listening in. And I hope you guys all have a good night. Thank you, friend, for helping and for
Yeah,
sharing.
you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a great night, friends. See ya.
Bye.